Former Bosasa COO Angelo Agrizzi remains in hospital this evening. Last night we got the news that he was being transferred from a public hospital to a private facility and he was on a ventilator. Last week, you'll remember, he was denied bail in the corruption matter involving himself and former ANC MP Vincent Smith. Agrizzi appeared at the State Capture Commission last year. He spilled the beans on alleged bribes and payoffs that the facilities management company was using to secure government tenders. His legal team says there's plenty more to come, but will we ever get to hear it? I'm joined now by his lawyer, Daniel Witz. Good evening, Mr. Witz. Could you tell us how Mr. Agrizzi is doing this evening?
Good evening. Unfortunately, at the moment, there's no change to his condition. He is a bit more stable, but it's quite erratic at the moment. We are waiting for this later this evening to get an update from his medical team. But unfortunately, there's no change, no improvement, should I say.
All right. Now, yesterday you told us that he'd been transferred while he was on a ventilator. Does he remain on a ventilator this evening?
He still does. At the moment, it's part of his treatment, and they're just trying to stabilize his health condition. So it's too soon to take him off.
Is he conscious?
No, not at the moment, no.
Still in ICU, I presume?
Yes, he is still in ICU. We have been working last night and the entire day to try get at least his wife to be allowed to visit him, but the Department of Corrections have not permitted anyone to see him, including his wife. So that's currently what we're working on over and above his appeal.
I see, yes, because he is still in custody, even though he's now in a private facility. Why are they denying her access, or is it more about hospital regulations around COVID?
No, not at all. The NPA, investigating officer, and the hospital have absolutely no problem with his wife visiting him. But unfortunately, as he is a ward of the state, the permission would have to come from the Department of Corrections, the DCS. We've been trying with no success at the moment.
I see. You mentioned as well that you are in the process of appealing his bail that was denied last Wednesday. Can that all go ahead without him, and how soon is a decision likely on that?
Yes, it can go ahead without him because it is an urgent matter. Simply, we're waiting for the Johannesburg High Court to issue us with an urgent date due to his health condition, amongst other reasons. And once there's a date, both ourselves and the NPA will appear in court to argue the appeal.
All right. You know, he was very open when he appeared at the State Capture Commission. I got a sense of a man who had just decided that it was time to be upfront and honest about what he was involved with and the network of what seems to be a big system of corruption. Obviously, that still has to all be proven in a court of law. Is there a lot more to tell that he hasn't said? Because it did seem like he spilled the beans completely.
There's a lot more to be said, and there's a lot more where Mr. Agrizzi can assist with prosecutions and investigations in terms of the evidence. And the most interesting thing is that all of the evidence that Mr. Agrizzi gave at State Capture and other institutions through the government investigations have proven to be correct. So it's not whatever drives him at his own risk to his health, his life. There's no stopping Mr. Agrizzi. He wants to uproot corruption or whatever drives him.
Under what conditions will he tell, or will he be expecting some sort of plea deal, some sort of state witness deal? Are you able to confirm if those are even being discussed at this point?
I know Mr. Agrizzi in certain circumstances was hailed as some sort of hero to the nation and now might be seen as unnecessarily a zero. But I can tell you now, from the beginning, he's never asked for anything in exchange. This was purely a man who decided to uproot corruption, come clean, and hopefully drive what our current president says is the drive to uproot corruption. And Angelo's fully behind it.
If, and God forbid, he doesn't make it out of hospital alive, what will happen to the information that he's not yet shared? Are there files that will be handed over no matter what?
I'm not at liberty to say about that information, obviously because it is highly confidential, but at the moment we're not thinking about that. Mr. Agrizzi, Angelo is a fighter. We are praying that he will pull through this. However, worst case scenario, it will affect some intense investigations and months and years of hard work.
Just recap for me exactly his condition. So he stays in ICU, he's still on a ventilator, but he's stable, did you say?
as far as we know, he was stable through the night. However, it is still erratic, and his condition has been changing up and down throughout the day. But we will receive an update later this evening. Obviously, the family will hear first, and thereafter they will inform me.
Well, thank you very much for coming through to us once again. Daniel Witz, of course, he's the lawyer for Angelo Agrizzi, who remains in ICU on a ventilator.